Thank you, Craig. Another great session of truth in lending. What we really need the truth about is what happened to the bobblehead today. The bobblehead hat turns backward. Obviously, he's been damaged or hurt.
They got into a fight.
Yeah.
There was an incident, and I think it happened like this: you turned your back to him or something, and and he took it disrespectfully. But by the next time that you see this air, your hat will be fine. I have it. It is actually in perfect symmetrical to the brake. But yeah.
Well, hopefully you can't see it from there, but. It's some suspicious actions going on here.
Yeah, for real.
I wasn't here, so.
So welcome to The Real Truth in Lending. I'm Craig Berry. This is Shane Spink. We're in downtown Woodstock, and I thought, Shane, we'd talk a little bit. We could go over a couple of things, but something that you and I were talking about before is where the interest rates are and where they are in comparison, I think, to what people think they are, and then also what is the impact. I don't think that people actually really fully grasp when the rates are going up, and they have their own assumptions.
Well, there usually is a lag. You've made a great point there. What people think they are and what they really are, and then you have that conversation with them. They're like, "Well, I thought they were this," and they really have. They don't do this every day like we do, so
right.
They're not caught up in it.
Right, absolutely. So I just pulled it up because I think a lot of people also don't know. They have no idea what the rates are. So and this is just based on like a $200,000 to $300,000 loan amount on a 30-year fixed. If somebody's putting 5% down and they're buying a home, the interest rates are actually right at the average for the country are 3.5%, just over 3.5%. Now, I think there's a lot of people who also don't even understand that, because why am I seeing advertisements on, well, you name it, for 2.25% or 2.75%, and of course we all know the differences. And there's points, and there's so many variables. Right.
Well, the commercials you see that they can say 2.25%, but you don't know what's going to be behind that or what happened was. That's why they feel comfortable with it. It could be 2.25% and no points, but if the commercial they run that thing for an entire month, I think it's a VA commercial that says that one, and
right.
And then they could come back and say this is 2 points for this, and that's 2% on your loan amount. That's a big cost to get that rate. So it's not always. It's not always what you see. They're not necessarily lying. They can offer you that rate, but sometimes it's going to cost you.
Absolutely. And 2 points on just a $250,000 loan amount, you're talking about $5,000. That's an extra $5,000 in closing costs. Sometimes paying points can actually make sense. It depends on how long you're going to be in the home and how much it costs to save how much money. But that's why it's so important to really understand what the rates are, and then also, and it's a transition to what does it mean to your payment. So let's just take a $250,000 loan at 3% compared to where they are today at 3.5%. I think most people who don't know any better, they're going to say that there's got to be at least, I don't know, what do you think that they would think that it would be for a half a point on 250?
I don't know if I can put a dollar value on it, but I think they would feel like it would be so outlandish that they shouldn't buy the house anymore. They shouldn't do the loan. They've already had this set thing in their head, and they think it's just going to be over the top.
And now, look, they missed it.
Right. They missed it. Great point.
And the reality is, even at that, $250,000, 3% to 3.5%, the difference in your payment is $69 a month. I'm not saying that doesn't add up, but it's $69. I think most people think it's probably $200.
I agree. Yeah, 69 is not nothing, but it's also not something that maybe the average person should stop buying a home for,
right.
Whatever, especially when rates have been significantly higher in the past. But it's, when we go into the spot where maybe rates were in the 2s, then they climb over into the 3s, there's that little sting. People still, and some people wait and they say, I still want to wait for it to get back into the 2s, which it may very well never ever be
right.
again. I won't say that anymore because I've said that about every rate from 6% down.
Right.
But it's common to see this.
I agree. And now the one thing that I will say, though, is there's another side to that, which is make no mistake, your purchasing power is going down as the rates are going up. And like we'll just do that same. If you wanted to have the same principal and interest payment that you would on $250,000 at 3%, you'd have to buy $15,000 less in home. So literally, you went down from 250 to 235. So make no mistake, it doesn't make a huge difference, each month necessarily, but it does affect also how much you can buy. So the other side of that is you don't want to wait like too long, thinking that they're going to come back down, and I'm just not going to do anything until they do.
Yeah, the cost of waiting. I think how many times have we said that saying? Will get you because the appreciation's also going up still. The value out in the market and rates, the double, it's really going to bite into your buying power when you can buy now. It's a great time to buy right now. It's still historically low, and there's a lot more inventory out there right now.
Mm-hmm. There is, and that makes it a lot better, and it makes it actually a great time to buy, and we say that a lot. But it's interesting as we see the slowdown, and yet you've got inflation, and so we're starting to see these rates go up. I mean, do you have any? I mean, dare I ask, any predictions? Any thoughts
on where rates are going?
Yep.
I think they are going to continue to go up, but you say this and you just don't know what is going to happen. Things are so unpredictable now with the inflation, with the things the government's trying to do, trying to pump more money in there, which could cause more inflation. We don't need that many more money going in there, and they're talking about trillions of dollars more. But those things are going to have effect on you, whether you're buying a house or if you're renting. The rent's going to keep going up. Buying a home kind of shields you from that continual rise in rent that you might see if you stay renting. Now we can't control the cost of goods.
Right.
I mean, everything's on a ship right now, and everything else that's here is up 20%. So will it stay that way? I can't say that it will stay that way because it'll be pretty bad if it did.
Right.
But hopefully hopefully somebody smarter than Craig and I have the answers for that.
I always say that there are people who are a lot smarter and get paid a lot more money, and they get it wrong.
They're wrong a lot.
Yeah. It's impossible to know for sure what they're going to do. But what we do know right now, again, is the differences between whatever somebody was thinking that they had to have 3% or 2.8, and where they are today is really negligible in the big scheme of things.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about, like maybe the Braves or
the Braves, since we're sitting here on the 26th of October, my prediction, they're about to play the World Series versus the Astros.
Game 1 tonight.
Game 1 is tonight. Very exciting series they just played. I think it's Braves in 6.
Yeah.
Braves at 6.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good call.
Yeah.
I'm not real crazy about the fact that they're Houston is actually favored, turns out. But you know what? That's all right.
I think they're favored because they've been there a few times.
Yeah.
And they probably have a little bit better offense. But
hey, we've been there a few times too.
I think we're we've been there a bunch of times since the 90s. But we haven't been there in 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of newbies to this in this century.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Anything else that you'd like to wrap things up with there, Mr. Spink?
No, it's a great time to buy a home. Don't let the rates going up a half point scare you out of the market. It's a great time. Right now is a great time because there's less people out there looking for homes. So if we can help you with a home, call myself, call Craig, contact us, and we'd be happy to help guide you through the process.
Well said. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.